Cracker Island it was born. To the collective of
All right, when does dinner become supper and when does supper become dinner? Like, how do we?
There's no such thing as supper. That's a fake. It's a fake thing.
The Last Supper.
There's definitely supper.
Was that the last time it was okay to use it?
That's like saying, when does a couch start becoming a divan? Like,
or a
fuck
sofa?
off.
Or a sofa.
When does a couch? Or when does a house become a home?
Ooh, okay. Home.
That's when you have sex in it.
That's right.
No, I've had sex
home
in
I
houses.
associate more with a feeling. Like, I think a house can be a home, but a house can also not be a home.
It's like a rectangle square thing.
Is it weird for me to think that I have dinner with my friends and supper with my family? That's like a country song. Whiskey for my horses and supper for my family, or something.
I mean, that's a Fall Out Boy. That's Fall Out
Pete
Boy got
West.
old, and it's no longer champagne for my real friends, real pain for my sham friends, and now it's whatever.
Dinner for my friends, supper for my family.
Supper for my family.
Yeah,
That's
Fall Out Boy
hey,
got all conservative.
This might be the earliest episode title ever. How do we do that in the fucking cold open here?
That's good. Oh, my lights aren't on. Oh, I gotta fix that.
That's the difference. That's a motel, an eighth motel.
That's when the house becomes the home.
Yeah, the lights.
When you have stupid multicolor lights.
Turn that house to a home.
There we go. Now
Well, Chase, there it is. It is currently February 28th. Tomorrow's a leap year. What a time to be alive. This is episode 364 of the Casual Hour, and tonight is all about those March video games. We will have a little bit of a different approach to one segment because if you do not recall, we were not recording in February, well, most of February, late January, due to my remodeling happening in my home. So we will just give you a shout out of our favorite game we played in February versus what we would have hoped to have played in February. And
favorite or favorites?
Oh, I was just gonna go with like the one, baby. Like, tell me about that.
We make multiple picks a month. I thought we'd do multiple. I mean, I'll do whatever.
Yeah, I know you would love to talk more, but I think having a chance to break it down however you want, I'll belly up to it. If you lead with 3, I'll give you 2. How about that? So we're gonna tell you about what we've been playing, and we're gonna get into the curated list from Chase. I threw a few little nuggets in there. I don't know if you saw them yet.
I did see them, and I thought one of them looked very cool. The other one I thought was an affront to God.
Ooh, I put a lot in there, so we'll see.
Okay, you put at least 3, but there was one that I was like, "Come on, Bobby, you're trying to bait me. I'm not going to take it."
Oh, I think I know. We'll get to it. Hey, there's your fucking teaser to stick around. But let's get into what we have been playing, and it looks like we've got Johnny up first on that.
I finally did it. I finally played the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo 2 days before the game.
Thank you for being a fan.
I also did this.
Yeah, man, I'm getting the same emotional energy coming from this.
So I don't want to cut you off at the knees here, but like, how much do we want to talk about this? Because the game is just about to come out, and I imagine we're going to be talking about it a lot next week.
I think anything in the demo is fair game.
Sure. Yeah. I don't mean from a spoiler perspective. I mean, we're going to be talking about this game for at least a couple weeks going
Mhm.
forward. How much do we want to talk about it now?
I was just gonna give my general impressions of
Yeah.
the demo,
Okay.
and yeah, I didn't have a ton to say about it because I knew we're definitely gonna be spending a lot of time talking about this game over the next several
Works for me.
weeks.
What do you think?
I thought it was awesome, and I can't wait to play the full game. The music when it kicks in, when you arrive at Nibelheim, the village that Cloud and Tifa are both from, it's just seeing these cutscenes. You know, it's the same thing that happened to me in the first game, but like these are very. This is when it feels like the game takes off, right? Like you leave Midgar and you're learning more about why Sephiroth's doing what he's doing, why Cloud is where he is, more about him and Tifa's connection with each other. Um, and it's like when I would close my eyes as a kid and think about how the game looked, this is what I'm seeing on the screen right now. And uh, hearing how it's all about the characters and how great, especially Tifa and Aerith are interacting with each other, from people that played the whole thing. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get my hands on the full thing later tonight.
So that was the first demo. Did you play the second?
I
demo?
haven't. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the beach.
I did not like the second demo at all.
Oh no,
Yeah, I know.
man! What a
I don't know.
surprise!
I like the first one. I enjoyed all the stuff that you talked about, and having that more kind of like it's more of like a focused thing where you're going specifically to a place. You're going up to that reactor near Nibelheim, and
I
totally in for it. What
can I ask a quick question?
Please.
Did you not know it was open world?
No, I knew. People have been saying that, but the thing I liked about Remake was it was relatively focused. Sure, there were places where you could walk around hub areas and do some side quests and stuff, but I did enjoy that it was kind of focused and being in Midgar and being relatively linear. And the first part of the demo that they do is absolutely more of that, and it felt great. And then the second half does open up into a later part of the game that's a bigger open area, and it just feels like a lot of walking around and or running around because you do get a chocobo. But it's a lot of running around, and they did mention in the second demo, hey, this is only a slice of some of the stuff that's going to be in this section. We didn't put all the stuff in here, so there's going to be even more stuff when you get in here. Because the only thing that's really in there from like a gameplay perspective is combat challenges. Here's like 5 combat challenges in this larger map area, and you can just go to them and do the combat challenges and then do them over and over. And you can also gather materials that are just hanging out, and then you can go to the one city to do the actual part of the demo. And to me, it felt really bland to be out in the open world part because all there was the combat challenges. So
that's the wrong take.
So you're telling me the part of the game that they say, hey, there's a ton missing from this.
I hope they're right. I hope they're right. Because if they were trying to show me a slice of what could be in here, they showed me a very partial slice of just combat. I don't know. There's also some missing dialogue out of there, which felt kind of weird too. Like the Chadley dialogue just didn't show up, at least for me.
Like on the screen or the audio?
It wasn't spoken. You just saw it on the screen, but it looked like it was supposed to be spoken. So I don't know if that was something was yet to be added, or if they just didn't have the English track in yet, or something like that. Or maybe it was a glitch for me. But I wasn't as impressed by that second part, and I don't know. People have been saying that game's like 100 hours long if you do the stuff, and that scares me because I don't want to spend 100 hours in this game.
Why not?
Because I want to play other games. Like I don't want to be spending a bunch of time on a game that. I mean, I know the story of Final Fantasy VII. I kind of want to experience that story again.
Sure.
Through this, and the story of Final Fantasy VII to me is not taking on a bunch of combat challenges and then redoing them because I only got 2 of the 3 things correct. and then trying to get that third one correct.
See, I pursued all of the side shit in the first game. That was one of the things, like the arena challenge at the Golden Saucer. So I'm
Well,
like, man, all
I
that
think
different
I
stuff
think
you
we'll
can
have
do
a
in the
lot
Saucer.
more to really dissect on a full
Yeah.
slice next week. So
Mhm.
why don't we move on from that one? I think we all are going to be checking it out, maybe to
Yes.
varying degrees of enjoyment, but we will certainly have plenty to say.
I don't remember if it was my game of the year that year. It was our game of the year that year. I loved Remake, so
Mhm.
I'm excited for Rebirth. Getting it
Yeah.
day one. I took the day off work partially for the game, but I also hope that there's ample opportunity for me to just skip all that
What-
extra stuff and play that game in a more linear fashion.
The only thing I'll say, since we're just trying to talk about transitioning to the other full release, you can import your save from this demo that we're talking about, and you also get some playable items in that. So if you're watching this live, get that knocked out.
Do you have to have completed the demo or just have a save file from it?
have a save file. And then the other thing, though, is there's dialogue that changes in the full release and some cutscenes specifically around leaving with Sephiroth that are worth watching at least the cutscene so you can like move through it. So this is more like a PSA. Hey, if you're wanting to go into this fully aware, you might want to watch that if you are going to jump in from your save of the demo.
Yeah, and you're not gonna. I mean, this isn't. I'll be talking about another demo when I come to my turn, but it's not like that demo where you're going to have to replay this stuff when you play the actual game. It's not like you're skipping that content by playing it in the demo, but you do get those extra bonus items. So that's.
Oh, it'll bring your save in.
But the demo is split up into two separate pieces that aren't connected, so they're not going to just go.
I think
you
it's
don't have to do this part because you already did it in the demo.
From what I've listened to and what I was reading, there is going to be some way to skip a portion of that based off of the demo.
That would shock me and be ridiculous, but I guess I could believe it.
So we'll see. We'll know more in just a few hours, I suppose. Cool. That's the Final Fantasy VII demo update. Tune in next week for an even deeper dive into our hot takes on that game. I'm going to give you a very hot take. I'm playing one of the better games of the year right now, and that is a game called Pacific Drive. This came out from Ironwood Studios on February 22nd. It was put out for your enjoyment by Kepler Interactive. And do either one of you know this game, or have you played this game? First
I played the demo.
Cool.
And I know the game.
This is the one where you have a car and you're
not just a
crafting
car.
stuff on the car.
Station wagon.
Sure, but
A classic.
it's like a
classic piece of
survival
American
scroungy
manufacturing.
game, but the survival scroungy stuff is you're putting shit on your car.
I think that's being a bit reductive, but yes. And there's
Yes, absolutely it is.
So Pacific Drive is taking place in an alternative version of the Olympic Peninsula. And back in the 90s, there was some experimentation that was happening on the lower part of that peninsula, and they built a big fucking wall to contain it. And you get sucked into this portal when you go into it in 1998, and you come out into this very fucking, I don't want to call it like eldritch horror, but it's definitely Lovecraftian. Like,
It's got some.
yeah,
I mean that. Yes.
yeah, it's got a
That is
fucking
a not inaccurate description.
but
The fact that it's set in the PNW makes it even.
it's so good.
Yeah.
And to Chase's point, as you come into it, your vehicle is completely destroyed, and a radio frequency comes around. It's basically freaked out that there's somebody here. You get guided to a station wagon that isn't supposed to be working. You end up getting to work, and you get to this parts shop where you then kind of figure out there is events that have taken place, and they are like the center quadrant. If you've seen the movie, oh my God, with Natalie Portman in it, about the
Black Swan.
the alien
Star
one where they go into the woods. Annihilation.
Oh yeah, that one.
where the meteor hits the lighthouse and it kind of it's very strong there and weakens out through the woods. They show you a map, and this game is literally it's a run-based game. It's a roguelite video game that has survival elements to it. And so you're making runs out of this garage shop into different or deeper parts of the peninsula where you are breaking down materials to bring back to the shop and upgrade the vehicle. But there's a lot more to that.
With the ultimate goal of escaping from the place that
Not
you are.
really escaping, getting to the core of what was happening. And you've basically got two groups that are talking to you that were all once teamed up, and you're getting lore through various radio stations and weird frequencies. But the game, I think, is very fucking well done from setting an atmosphere for you to be in. The car upgrades are so fucking cool. The best way I can describe the interface of this game is like if you're looking through the windshield of the DeLorean, because everything is built and tacked on like they did on the DeLorean and Back to the Future, and you are upgrading those things and abilities that you can go into the car. So your runs aren't always about getting super deep. It becomes more about, oh, I need to get off-road tires because there's some stuff that I want to be able to do. So I'm going to go out and look for those materials. But you have to also build tools that you are going to break down materials, and then you come back and you're upgrading your base that lets you do these things. And then your runs get easier. There is persistent meta stuff that goes with it. It's just very fucking well done. And it's got such a tone and style to it. I am way over it's so good, dude. It's just very well done. Very cool video game.
It's got some great trailers and other stuff that I've seen from it as well. I think it is not a game I want to play, but I respect the hell out of it, and it looks awesome.
Do you remember the game that you and I looked at, Far Lone Shores? And then
yeah,
you remember how it's kind of like the game that we played also, Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. Your car has some quirkiness to it where you will have to go in and like put it in gear, turn your headlights on. Like it's very analog in that sense. So I think even if you were enjoying some elements of it, I could see you personally, Chase, getting kind of annoyed about all the buttons and stuff you're pushing to make this thing work. But
yeah,
it's very well done.
I know we're going to talk about a new game in that series coming up, but it actually kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Snow Runner, Mud Runner stuff as well. Yep. Of, you know, you're in a station wagon, which is not the most off-road of vehicles, but you're going to come up against barriers and things, or like natural or otherwise, where you're like, I've got to drive around this, but is my car actually able to drive around this? Should I find like another safer route, or should I plow through? And you know, maybe you fuck up the car even more, and now you've got to survival fix it up some more.
You know, well, your car will also develop quirks based off that, and you have a DOS interface where it's all Baba is you. So like, I was trying to back my car up. Anytime I put it in reverse, the hood would open. So you have 4 options to like diagnose your car. And I finally got it figured out where it was like when shift is reverse, hood is up. And it's like, oh, here's how you fix it. You need to craft this. And then you go and do it. But there's a whole story why that happens. Anyway.
I don't think I like the idea of darkest dungeon but a car. Like, my car's freaked out.
Yeah, I want to show you guys this game really bad. I hope we can quick look it. I think it'll be a really fun quick look, and we'll go from there. So that is Pacific Drive. Oh, I didn't mention it, but it is only $30, and it's on, I think, pretty much everything. So check it out. Chase, what have you been doing, my man?
I've also played that Final Fantasy demo, but a different demo that I played was Unicorn Overlord, which is coming out very soon. We're going to be talking about it here soon. It comes out March 8th. I played this on the Switch, and I loaded it up one night thinking, yeah, I should play a little bit of this and see what it's about, because you know it's a new Vanillaware game. I really like their stuff. And then I don't know what happened, but like 6 hours later,
I don't want to play Final Fantasy because it's a 100-hour game. Motherfucker, you'll put any hour into anything you like. I don't want to hear it. Go on.
Possibly. I blinked and 6 hours had passed.
Yeah.
But I went, holy shit. Problem. I think this game might be fucking good. I think this might be some Chase catnip right here. Unicorn Overlord. It is a turn-based strategy game, but also kind of an RTS strategy game. It's really interesting. So, Bobby, you might enjoy this. It's a lot. It reminds me a lot of Symphony of War, the Nephilim saga,
which is just basically, oh my god, 3 houses.
A little bit, but I mean specifically in that you make squads. Like it's
yeah.
less about individual units, and it's
Mhm.
more about making a squad of 6, or you have 6 spaces in which to build squads. When you begin the demo, you can only make squads of 2, and you can make 2 squads or 2 or 3 squads. And as you start gaining more characters and gaining renown, you're able to upgrade those squads into squads of 3 and build even more squads. And then where I got to in the demo, I could make squads of 4. So it has that kind of stuff in there where, okay, I've got this guy with a big shield, so he's in my squad and he's going to be able to block some damage. I've got a flying unit that is really evasive and can also hit rows of enemies, or
Okay.
like columns. I guess
Is a
columns of
sword
enemies.
play?
Do what?
Swords?
There's many guys with swords. There's
Swords.
people with spears. There's
Swords
axes.
and horses. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
So it's
not like there's not a Fire Emblem style weapon triangle. It's not like
Okay.
sword beats this, lance beats
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it's more that types of units are generally good against other types of units. So you have sorcerers, and their magic can do really well against the big hoplite guys with the big shields. But a guy with just a normal sword isn't going to do nearly as much. But you also have things where the sorcerer can imbue one of her teammates with magic. So now they get to attack using a magic stat instead of a normal attack stat. So maybe they can get around. So you have all these things that you can kind of tweak, and it's really fun to put your squads together and see how they're going to interact with each other. It does get fiddly, or it has the ability to get really fiddly. It's weird. You guys were talking about it in our group chat today about Final Fantasy 12, and Johnny said he didn't really jive with that game, which I understand. I also kind of bounced off it, and one of the things that I bounced off it for was the gambit system, which in Final Fantasy 12 it's all these like game design rules almost of if this then this. It's actually a little bit like the Baba Is You stuff that you were talking about, where it's do this attack if enemy is under 50% health, and then do this heal if your guy is under 10% health. And
I remember
do this
playing
at
that
this
game
time.
and my eyes just glazing over.
Totally.
I was like, oh no.
And my problem is I had a really good build in Final Fantasy 12, and then I came up against a boss that totally fucked that up, and the game expected me like, oh yeah, you should just make like a specific gambit thing for this boss. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll just call it here. I'm good. So this game has a very similar system where your units have active skills and passive skills that they do, and those show up in the character in like the unit information, and you can adjust when those skills happen. So if you have 2 different active skills, one of them, let's say one of them is a heal and one of them is an attack, you put your heal up at the top, and then you say use this if a party member is under 50% HP. So then once it's their turn, they will do that check. Is any party member under 50 HP? If yes, do the heal. If not, go down to second active ability, and that is slice. And okay, I'm going to do this slice. Who should I do it on? Sometimes it'll just like do a regular priority. If it'll come up with its own like default priority. But other times you can say, I want this to attack the guy with the lowest HP, or the lowest percentage of HP, because those are 2 different things. There's one that is, hey, I have this attack, or like the sorceress is like, who am I attacking with my magic attack? Well, I default to say I want to prioritize hoplites. Any armored unit, I want to hit them because I'm probably more effective against them. But you can change that to be against other people as well. I found that to be fine in the demo. It wasn't too bad, but I could absolutely see once you get to squads of 6 plus having multiple squads.
Are you worried that it's going to be too many layers of things?
I have a question though.
Yeah, go for it.
Why does Vanillaware hate personal computers?
I don't know. That's a great
because
question.
I've had this on my wish list out of morbid curiosity, because it did look like a Fire Emblem game to me. And as I see it now, hearing you dub over it, I'm starting to see how I could lose myself to something like this.
And you looked and you saw it was everywhere but PC.
Yes. And I'm thinking to myself, looking at the artwork, is the Switch going to taint my enjoyment of this, where the PlayStation might run it better?
It's not a game that runs bad.
Yeah,
like, it's artistic, but it's not taxing. I
think it would probably look perfectly fine on the OLED.
Because this is something I think that would be fun to like kick back on the couch with.
Yeah, I had no hiccups, and generally, you don't need to have all the. Again, I ended up playing the demo for 8 hours before the game said you literally can't play any more of this. You have to stop.
Go to bed.
You've done the stuff you can do, and I went, oh, okay, I guess. But yeah, I could see on harder difficulties or further into the game where if you don't have the right build, you're just going to be fucked. And it probably will end up being something where I consult some guides just to be like, somebody has a YouTube thing figured out where they're like, hey, here's the optimal thing. Yeah, here's the optimal way to set up Travis for this kind of battle. And I'll go, great. Travis can do this shit.
Someone else figured it out for me.
Totally. Like some of that stuff is interesting to do on your own, but I'm more interested in collecting the characters, seeing the stories.
I'm with you, man. Like I find myself more and more these days like, okay, what? I'm not trying to like min-max here, but what is the best strategy?
Right. Like what's an effective thing?
That's what I'm doing on Persona 3. Like I'm literally like maximizing I'm generally maximizing my day to go and do the right activity. Like I'll do the social link check, and then I'll go and do this other piece and then bring everything back together. But when I think about something like this, I only have limited time each night. I don't want to be wrestling with what ifs. I'd rather be focusing on what will bring me the most enjoyment from it. And I think you and I talked about this with the final, not to go back to Final Fantasy Chase, but I ended up knocking that demo down to easy.
Yeah, so did I.
It was like much more enjoyable for me.
The combat is
it was fucking spicy, man. It got really spicy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun in playing some of the more modern Fire Emblems. I've had this one on my wish list for a while. I did download the demo on my Switch. I might actually fire that up tonight while I'm waiting for Final Fantasy to unlock. I mean, Chase, you fucking sold me, man. Like this thing looked cool, and hearing that it hit this hard for you.
Yeah. And honestly, what I told you is kind of only half the game, because the battles, because all that stuff is basically turn-based. It is happening automatically, but it is turn-based in that sense. Then there's what you're doing outside of battles, which is like a top-down map view where you're moving units in real time, and you can pause the action and move them to different places, and that has its own kind of battle-y system where when two things connect, that's when they do the turn-based battle. But then you can also do some skills and things in that kind of zoomed out view that can hurt enemies or can destroy barriers or can give you extra mobility so your guys move faster. Some units, if they're led, like whichever squads that you have, if you have a squad that's led by a flying unit, that whole squad can now fly, so they can move over mountains or something.
That's really cool.
Whereas if you have like a cavalry as the lead unit, then that moves faster. So you do have reasons to make different squads and put them in different places. It's all. They also have like a stamina system. So for me, it was like you get 9 battles with this squad before they get tired, and then you have to let them rest, or you could let them rest before they get.
Did you say you could upgrade them too?
Yeah, everybody levels up. So you're leveling up, and
gear,
you'll find new gear,
shit like that. Oh, cool.
Yeah, and when you find new gear, some of that new gear comes with special skills. So like I found, so I had Travis. He's a thief, and he had like his general thing is that he does 2 attacks, and he hits people, and then he takes their passive skill, or he doesn't take their skills. He takes their points. He takes their skill points. And so then he gets to use them his own, and his passive skill is evade. So he'll hit you twice, he'll take away a bunch of your stuff, and then you try to hit him back, and he goes, "Oh no, sorry, you can't hit me." It's really great. But then I gave him this new sword that's a poison blade that does poison damage, and that was a new skill, a new active skill for him. So he stopped using his double attack where he takes all your skill points, and he did an attack that hits and poisons you, but then he kind of stopped being the unit I wanted him to be. So I either needed to reprioritize his skills, so he did the attack I wanted to more than the poison one, or I just had to put that blade on somebody else, and I ended up putting it on somebody else. So there are just a lot of factors that you can play around with. I think the story's fine. It's kind of a, hey, your mom was the queen and she got killed, and it's kind of a revenge story.
I was going to ask if you were royalty.
Absolutely, you are loyalty. I mean, it is basically Fire Emblem in that you are a blue-haired lord who is coming of age and trying to take back their kingdom, and you have a childhood friend who's a girl who you have to go save at some point.
Is there anyone with amnesia?
Yes. Like there are a lot of enemies that you fight. There are a lot of enemies that you fight that once you beat them, you have the ring of the unicorn. That's where the Unicorn Overlord part comes from. And this ring is able to like clear their minds so they're no longer fogged by the enemy. And sometimes they'll become your allies. So it's a way of turning foes into friends. There are some really cool units. There's just like these Warhammer guys, and I don't mean like Warhammer the thing. I mean they just have a big stick with a big concrete block on it, and they're just gonna hit you in the face with the goddamn hammer. There's some really cool units. The animations are nice. The music is fine. I think the overworld stuff of like going to different towns and upgrading them is kind of cool. I'm so psyched for this. I was shocked that I spent 8 hours in this demo.
I'm gonna check it out tonight.
I'm shocked that they let you spend 8 hours in this demo. It's a fucking demo, and I kept going.
I mean, Balatro would like to have a word. There's people with 60 hours in Balatro demo.
Totally. So I'm really excited. In fact, the thing I'm most worried about is this game doesn't come out until March 8th. I can't play it anymore until then. Will I forget everything that happened? will I need like a tutorial again to be like how do you use skills and things like that? Because this is a demo where you just start the game. So I'm going to start that game 8 hours in, whereas other people might start it from zero because they didn't play the demo. I think it's really cool. It has a chance of being my favorite game of the year. But it's I was really worried about this one, and now I'm just so excited about it.
That's awesome, man. Can't wait to hear more about it and maybe check it out myself.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of games that we talked about tonight, and we got even more to get into. But with us not having a February episode due to us not recording at that time, and given the sake of time, I'm going to ask that we pick one game from February that stood out as our top pick versus what we would have picked. If we can keep it a little bit more focused just to get into the other stuff or a conversation there. So, Chase, why don't you tell us what's your favorite game you've played in February?
I was really hoping somebody else would go first so somebody could say Balatro and then I wouldn't have to say it. But I'm going to say Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. That game was really cool. It's a game I've been waiting for a really long time. I did get to talk about it on the podcast, so you can go listen to me talk about it on a previous show. But I ended up being pretty impressed with what that was. It is. It's a good time.
Nice. I will say Helldivers 2. That has been one of my favorite games of the year. Suck it, Johnny. I said it first.
Mm-hmm.
You can say it too if it was yours. There's no rule here.
You could say Balatro. It's free. Anybody
Chase, we're not going to let you clown car this one. I know what you're trying to do. I'm cutting you off, Chase.
Just listen. How many hours do I have in Balatro? 12. 12 hours. 12.8. And 25.8 in Helldivers. I'm going to say Balatro just because I feel like it needs to be on the board here.
Cool.
It's a good game.
It's so fucking good. It is incredible when a game like that comes out.
Hell yeah.
To be fair though, this is not me clown carring. This is me saying that it is the 28th. There is one more day of February. There's a Star Wars remake of Dark Forces that came out today.
It's out.
Final Fantasy comes out tomorrow. So
there's a certain Final Fantasy
February
coming
has
out.
That's why I said
games.
So far.
I understand, but February has more video games.
That's fair. And March has even more, but we'll know more about that after we talk about your free stuff. You take it from here, Chase. Get us home.
Sure. Let's talk about some free video games. In fact, I think PlayStation just announced theirs today, so perfect timing on this. We've got 4 PlayStation 4 and 5 games that are coming March 5th, I believe, is the first day you can download them. So you get this is all PlayStation Plus Essential, the one where you just have the base package.
Baseline, right?
We're not looking at PlayStation Plus Extra or whatever the fuck else they have. Don't care.
Yeah.
EA Sports F1 23. This is racing
time.
some cars.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Johnny, I feel like you're the only one who might care about F1 of this group.
I have never played an F1 game. I probably will not start now.
Why start now,
I
right?
I think it's just you're the only one who likes soccer, so we just assume you're the only one who likes European anything.
Well, it's a global sport. It's the most popular sport in the world.
F1?
No.
Still real to me,
F1
damn it.
F1 also incredibly
Also a
popular.
global sport. I'm pretty sure they do that everywhere.
Yep.
Sifu is also coming out. Sifu is
That's a cool video game.
Yeah,
Cool video game.
That's a really neat idea.
You should check that out if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber.
A kind of roguelike fighting game where when you die you get old.
These next two though, you can
Not cool.
It's the beach. It's not the beach that makes you old. It's dying that makes you old. Yes. Johnny, we haven't checked in with your son. Is he still a Hello Neighborhead?
No.
Wow. What if
He has
what if
moved
I,
on. He is
what
a
if I
Dragon
told
Ball
you that
legend.
he could get Hello Neighbor 2 for free on PlayStation Plus
Oh.
Essential?
Johnny, when are you going to post your strongly written letter to the Hello Neighbor 2 developer on hard drive?
Yeah.
When's that going on hard drive? Sad
Is that still
dad's even
relevant?
more
I
mad
don't know.
at sad. Yeah, I don't know.
Hello Neighbor 2 is on PlayStation Plus this month. It's absolutely relevant.
Because it wouldn't be satire. It would just be a strongly worded letter.
I'm sure.
It's still funny to me, damn it.
I could pull it off.
So after pimping Johnny a little bit there, I get to get as good as I give, because the other game on this list is Destiny 2: The Witch Queen.
Hey, look at that.
So Destiny
First
2
party
already free to play. You can play that for free. But now
Sony's
this
being
is
generous, giving
the
you a
Witch
first
Queen
party
DLC.
title.
You can go download that. and
Maybe
play.
next month they'll give you Knack 2.
I'd play some. I'd download that too.
I would play Knack 2 sooner than play Destiny 2 again. I think.
Ooh, that's rude. Hey,
That's
still
not
living
true.
clean.
That's not
He's
true.
living clean.
But also, the Witch Queen was good. That was a good one.
Yeah,
it's better
that was the last
than-
one I played, I think.
Yeah, it's better than
Well,
some
look,
of the other ones they've done.
Sony's not the only one putting out garbage-free content.
That's true. That's
We
true.
got some
Bobby,
more.
I'm gonna throw it back to you for Game Pass. You tell me all the shit that Microsoft's throwing at us.
If you subscribe to Game Pass at any level, you will be getting Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. That is the boom
Oh, that
shooter.
game was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I mean, when you're not getting lost in it.
It's very easy to get lost. Hell of a thing. Lightyear Frontier on March 19th. More on that to come. MLB The Show 24. Sony's MLB The Show 24
That's so
on
funny to me.
Xbox March 19th.
And Switch. I mean, not Game Pass on Switch. But
Yeah.
They
Do
have
you
to bring
think-
that everywhere now.
Do you think the MLB pressured Sony into brokering that deal?
100%. Yeah,
Absolutely.
No, that's
Not only to get it on Xbox, but to get it on Game
The
Pass.
same logic that Microsoft's applying to 4 of their games in their catalog on other platforms is the MLB. Like, we want our game on everything.
Right.
yeah. I mean,
But-
it is not even a rumor. MLB absolutely told Sony you
Yeah.
gotta
No,
put
no,
it on
I
other
know-
stuff,
I
but
know
when you're
that
talking
part
about
of
Game
it.
Pass specifically,
Yes.
I
Like, whose idea
imagine
was
that
that? Was that
Xbox. I
Sony?
imagine that Xbox probably said to MLB like, "Hey, like
Hey.
we've got this thing that
Hey,
pays you
hey,
some
fucker.
money just by
Here,
doing
here
it."
you go.
Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, why? Yeah, absolutely, we're fucking doing that." I don't even think that's Sony's call at that point, because
No.
it's still.
I
it's
know, but it
the,
still
like-
feels kind of petty.
Oh,
in a way.
absolutely. Yeah, you went from PlayStation players one year having the best
best baseball
only
game.
baseball
Yeah.
game, to now Xbox going, well, we also have that game, but also it's kind of free. It's in like our
You get
fake
all these
free.
other games with it too.
Yeah,
It-
it's
it
like our
could've-
fake free, but you get it free, and PlayStation people do not get it free.
No.
Not even fake free. So fuck you guys.
Yep. And then rounding that out, you've got Diablo 4 finally coming. I think this is the first Blizzard game to hit Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it's nice when Microsoft can just put out their first party stuff on
Yeah.
the thing.
What the hell, bro?
I said it was garbage. I said we got garbage over here.
I'm just doing the Destiny 2 thing that you
I'm
guys
garbage. I agnostic. Open roads. We're gonna talk about that also. I don't. The
Gotta
open
finish the
roads.
story. What?
What?
Keep going. Keep going.
I don't know
Move past
what's leaving Game Pass at the time, but we'll update show notes later if that changes. And that is what's happening in Xbox Game Pass.
Nice.
We got to spin something for Chase, right?
I don't think we do. So we didn't do a month. We didn't do a preview last month.
Okay.
So we didn't officially spin the wheel on screen.
Okay.
Johnny witnessed me spinning a wheel just to know that it happened.
I did.
But February was busy. It's also a short month. I'm gonna use all the excuses I can here. So Johnny was witness to what the game that got selected in February was. It was Metal Max Xeno Reborn.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm just gonna call that the March game, and I'm gonna be playing that this month.
Do it.
Perfect.
Sometime between the 100 hours of Final Fantasy and the 100 hours of.
I believe in
Overlord.
you. I believe in you.
I'm sure it'll work out just fine.
You will be a-okay. You're going to be just fine. Believe in yourself.
Sure, why not?
If you aim for the moon, you land in the stars, Chase. Just remember that.
The moon is so much closer than the stars.
I don't make the rules. We got some trailers pulled up here for you, my man.
Isaac Newton made the rules.
That he did.
Yeah.
That he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want me to start running through the games
Let's
that are
do
coming
it.
out this March?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
Cool. We'll start with a port. We're getting wait, no, that's not right.
That's not right. That is not right.
Yeah, I'm on the wrong month of these monthly releases. I was going like, this game doesn't look like Leica at all. No. All right, we're on March, which means March 5th. We're getting Expeditions, a Mud Runner game.
Hell yeah.
Johnny Breaker 19, are you I forgot what our cool names were. We had cool names back in the
Hey, if you just tell me that this was Forza Horizon, I probably would have believed you.
It's not going fast enough for Forza. So yeah, the Mud Runner, Snow Runner franchise. This is all about
God, it looks
driving,
cool. Holy shit.
Yeah, driving in weird, bad terrain.
Yeah,
getting stuck, getting unstuck.
Stranding.
Yeah.
What's that one thing guys will see this and say, hell yeah? Is that
Yeah,
what this is?
That's what this is.
The twist on this one is that it seems like you are trying to get to specific locations. Like it's all about finding landmarks and
instead of
This is just Pacific Drive for normies.
yes, it absolutely is.
No, this is Pacific Drive for sickos.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, this is hard. This is hardcore Pacific
okay.
Drive. Like,
Okay.
Whatever you've been doing over there, nah,
Nah,
son.
okay, fair.
You didn't have to change your tire pressure to get over this rock
See,
face.
that's
I
a
actually had to
removable
put
anchor, bitch.
I had to put different tires on.
Okay, all right.
This game looks fantastic. I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, this game looks fantastic. I am not going to play it. I
fair.
still have SnowRunner. I can still play SnowRunner if I want. It does look amazing though.
It looks really
They put
good.
a fucking drone in here. You can just drone to look around. I do like that. It seems like there's more about picking one vehicle and using that vehicle to go places. And you have so many tools at your disposal, whether it's like a winch that you can throw, or like an anchor point that you can then winch to and get yourself out. Because the thing I would do in SnowRunner that frustrated me all the time is I got stuck with this vehicle.
Right.
I need to fast travel back to this other place, get a second vehicle, and now go get the first vehicle out. And not only do I have to get the first vehicle out, now I got to get both of them to a destination. And it just got to the point of like, man, fuck this. This is too much. This is too much even for me. So for this game to go, hey, it's more about getting stuck, but then getting yourself unstuck with just this vehicle. I think that's really cool and kind of a quality of life thing for a game series that is very much not about quality of life.
And it looks like co-op is back.
Oh,
Yeah.
Johnny, I'll play it with you for sure.
Please
This could be a
do.
Friday night.
Yes, I was just going to say, please play this one.
We could do a stream on Friday. That'll be great. All right.
All right. Also on the 5th, Bobby, I'm going to let you take this one. You added it to the pile.
Yeah, Mediterranean Inferno is a game that I saw from a distance and thought it just looked absolutely gorgeous. It is a visual novel that is coming to
Hear
Nintendo.
that, folks? Bobby added a visual novel. It wasn't Chase. Chase had nothing to do. Chase skips the visual
You know
novels
what?
because he cares.
I'm
he cares
fair.
about his fellow
I'm
teammates.
fair. I'm fair. I'm fair. And by being fair,
I'm gonna start adding visual novels to all of these because there's always a new visual novel coming out every
Please
month.
don't.
This
And
one,
I'm
though,
having to say the
30
names
minutes.
of all of them because he's gonna love it.
it made me think a little bit about the oh my god, the Citizen one in space that you love.
Citizen Sleeper.
Citizen Sleeper. Just a little bit adjacent art style. And apparently this is like just a fucking gut punch of a story. Very mature, very heavy. People seem to really enjoy it from what I've read. It's been on PC for I think about a year now. Anyway, I saw this. I thought you two would appreciate how it looked. I don't think any of us are going to play it, but the fact that it's coming over to consoles now and you can, Chase, it looks like something that you can check out.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of that that Irish kind of visual novel I played a few years ago called If Found. I had to look it up again, but it's that same kind of a lot of hand drawn stuff, a lot of striking colors. Yeah, it seems cool. It definitely seems cool.
Yep, for sure.
Moving on to the 6th of March, we're getting Berserk Boy coming to the Nintendo Switch and the PC.
Oh, this isn't the Mighty Number 9?
It's not Mighty Number 9. It's not what's the there's so many goddamn
and the others.
Yes, all the other ones, but they made
those
somebody
old chestnuts.
made an indie Mega Man game.
Wow.
And
it
I
sure
think it
does look like Mega Man. Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
It looks good.
I played Mega Man 1 and 2 on the 3DS, and I had a pretty good time.
I like how much it seems like there's a focus on movement tech.
Yes.
And just like it almost has like there's one part of this trailer that we're seeing here where it's almost like the Sonic Adventure 2 where you're just like homing attack and just homing attack and using that not only to destroy enemies but to get around the stage. It just seems like they've got a lot of smart ideas in here, and the art style is cutesy.
Oh yeah, it's got some nice pixel for sure.
Yeah, looks solid.
Totally.
I would like to see more of that. On the 8th, there's some game called Unicorn Overlord. Sounds lame.
Fucking nerds.
On that. But coming to Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, and not the PC. Get fucked, Bobby.
I'll just fucking emulate it.
Go for it. Yeah, sure. Put it on Dolphin or whatever the fuck.
It looks good, man.
Just gonna put it back out there. This game fucks.
It looks pretty good.
I don't know. It looks really good.
It does look. All the Vanillaware games look so good.
That makes me think about PlayStation. Makes me think PlayStation.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, Vanillaware made a lot of PlayStation games, from Odin Sphere to, all the way up to 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. I am shocked that they haven't put Muramasa the Demon Blade on the Switch. It seems like a surefire hit, and also it came out on the Wii before, so like it was a Nintendo exclusive in one way or another at one point.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'll get it on PlayStation, and I'll use my Ally to remote play into it.
There you go. See, everybody wins.
Problem solved.
Especially me, because that game rules. Moving on to, also on the 8th, is Summer House, which is coming exclusively to PC. So get fucked me. Bobby, tell me more about this. You're the one who added it, and it looks awesome.
It plays awesome too. I've actually played the demo. This was out around the Next Fest this year. It is just pure freeform, really inventive, gorgeous, chilled community building. Oh. And you're scrolling. So when you pick a door, you just scroll and it gives you all these different styles, and you can place it literally anywhere on what you're constructing. They'll give you a vignette. So like, as you can see here in the trailer, you're starting by this really beautiful mountain, or I guess lakeside mountain, build out, do all kinds of crazy shit with color, awnings, roofs, mix and match materials. And then you can end up building like a city block out with it. It is one of those games that you could put on for podcasts, put on a fucking record, pour yourself a cocktail, build something pretty. It's really fucking good.
Now, we've got this muted, but this trailer that Bobby added here has the developer talking about it. And he does mention at one point that there is like discovery parts of this. Like there's one scene in here where they add something and then like something pops up of like, I don't know if it's an unlock or if it's more like an audio log kind of thing.
So
like
it's when they say new block, That's the building. It's like a building block.
Okay.
So you're unlocking.
So
new,
you do have to do some stuff to unlock some new stuff. Okay.
Yep.
So it's not completely free. Like there's still like some things that the game wants you to do to progress in some form or fashion.
Yep.
It just looks so good. I really dig this art style, and I'm pissed that it's not on a console, but I'll happily play this.
Hey, what are you doing this podcast on right now?
I told you on Monday I've been playing a lot of video games on my PC lately.
There you go.
You just don't like any of them because they're magic related.
That's fair.
On the 12th, we are getting Contra Operation Galuga coming to.
I thought at first glance I thought it was Operation Gulag, which sounds way cooler.
I thought it was goulash.
Operation Galaga.
It's not a Midwest potluck.
Namco's does Galaga. Never mind. Operation Galuga comes out to Switch, PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. How much Contra have we played here on the
Not a lot.
I played a good amount of it on the NES.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gun's cool. I know the Contra code.
This game, I don't know how I feel about the way it looks.
Yeah. It's
okay.
tough because I'm in the same boat as you, and it's a really tough boat for a company like Konami and whoever the hell they have make their games for them. It's just everybody loves Contra 1.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to give a shit about any other Contra. I've heard people say like, "Oh, Contra Hardcore is so good," or Contra 4 on the DS was supposed to be really good, and that game did look really good. But
it's just like Mega Man. They're not going to change it. They're not going to change it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Enough people buy them, they keep making them.
I guess so. I guess somebody's buying them.
Us old heads, they love to advertise towards us.
Yeah.
It's not my shit, but there's absolutely somebody out there who's like, yep, that's my Unicorn Overlord.
Watching this trailer made me think I should go back and play the original Contra some more.
I don't think it would take nearly as long as we thought it would.
I mean, I still don't think I'm very good at Contra, so I bet it would take me just as long.
Yeah,
which is forever.
That's fair.
I've watched people beat Contra. Is that anything? Is that something?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the 13th, where we're getting Llama Soft, the Jeff Minter story, coming to Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and the PC. This is another one from Digital Eclipse, where they're kind of doing these interactive documentaries. They did the making of Karateka. They did Atari 50. They've just been doing some really cool stuff. Unfortunately for me, like it's all just a little aged out of where I like my time for video games. Yeah,
I'm glad they're doing this, but I don't know if I will ever experience it.
And it's not like they're gonna get we got like the Nintendo story. Like they're not gonna do one of these for Nintendo because Nintendo will never let them do that.
No.
And Nintendo's not gonna do it themselves, very clearly. But it's like all this gaming history stuff is super fascinating to me. I did download Atari 50 and I played a little bit of it and I like it, but it's just I don't have the nostalgia for this.
Dude, this is the closest thing. Like this is like our art museum in a lot of ways. The way that they're going about this, the way that they're curating this is an experience. I look at this as the most respectable form of preservation of a medium that you can do. It's
totally agree.
It's so fucking well done.
It's different from like a no clip documentary.
100%.
I'm not knocking that. Like I think Danny O'Dwyer does some really cool stuff with that. Or the Area 5 guys when they were doing their stuff. I thought that stuff was awesome. But you're right. This is different of having that interactivity to it, being able to not just tell you about the game, but then to hand you. I mean, you're already holding the controller, but to say, now play it, now see it, and not only see it, see this prototype version, and let's talk about what's happening as you play it, and you just gain this deeper appreciation for it. And then with a lot of these games, and I believe they did it for this one too. They did remakes of some of the games, and they updated them for an even more modern audience. but it lets you kind of see it from all these different angles, and I think that's just so rad. They've come so far from even what they were doing before, which is like, hey, we have this Mega Man collection, and you play the Mega Man games, but also we just have, you in some of these kinds of collections you see, there'd be like an art gallery, and they did like an art gallery times 12 and did a lot of stuff for it, but it wasn't this. Like, this is a factor above that, which is we did these interviews, we put these other games in there and put all this other information. I think it's really fascinating. They're doing some of the best work of any developer out there. I just wish it was about games I cared about.
Yeah, agreed.
Moving on. This is another one from Bobby, so we'll let him take this one, but it's coming out March 15th. Bobby, what is this game?
This is Outcast: A New Beginning. This is a sequel to the game that was out 20 years ago, or 20 plus years ago. It's being put out by THQ Nordic. It's an action third-person game that seems to be doing some... it looks like it's Alien. So I've never played Outcast, first of all. I have played the demo. It plays pretty damn well for what it is. Like, I think it's pretty responsive, and the mechanics feel really good in the hand. You have a glider and a jetpack, and so you can use your jetpack to just take off. Like, you can jump up and then start gliding with your jetpack, so you can kind of traverse across water and land and get up and do these really cool things from a movement standpoint. There are combat encounters which feel pretty good as well, so it's got some gun stuff to it. I don't see myself picking this thing up right away, maybe ever, but I think it played pretty well after checking out the demo, and thought we should call it out here, especially being a sequel from 2 decades.
So long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems you even kind of mentioned it in your write-up here, but it's like a solid B game, and we just don't get these kinds of games anymore.
100%.
In fact, like, it reminds me a lot. There was an extremely forgettable Xbox 360 game back in the day called Dark Void. I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but that was it reminds me a lot of this, where it's like a dude with a jetpack, and basically it was like one idea where it was like a vertical cover-based shooter, but it was all about the jetpacking from place to place. I never played it. I don't know why I know so much about it. But it's cool to have games like this where it doesn't all have to be blockbusters, and we just aren't getting that these days, because everything either has to be the smallest indie it could possibly be or the biggest AAA thing it could possibly be, and anything in between is not
the way the industry's going, we might be seeing more of these games.
Yeah, I would hope it'd be really great if publishers said, what if we just made a little bit of money off this game instead of our margins having to be through the fucking roof on every goddamn thing.
Yep. So that's Outcast: New Beginning, PlayStation, Xbox, PC.
Totally. And if you like it, I would totally tell you to just go buy it, because these kinds of games aren't going to keep being made if people don't buy them. So
that's true.
Moving on to the 18th, Hi-Fi Rush is getting ported over to the PS5, which we knew about. And then on the 19th, Lightyear Frontier comes out. And Bobby, you put this one up. And what blasphemy did you say with this one?
I said, finally a good fucking mech game.
It's not
It's
right.
a fucking mech.
Yes, it is. But there's been lots of good mech games. There was one last year. It was called Armored Core 5.
This is what we're talking about, baby. They got a fucking farming sim mech game, Chase, so you can play with your friends. We could all be mechs playing this game together.
No.
Why won't you join me?
I don't want a Stardew Valley in a mech.
I've played the demo. It's really fucking cool.
I'm actually sure it's really cool. It does seem really cool.
It's so fucking good. And guess what? It comes out day and date on Game Pass, bitches. So we can all play it together. No fucking excuses. I don't want to hear them. Get your goddamn overalls on. We're farming.
I have one excuse. I do not want to play this game. That's my excuse.
It's really good, Johnny. You've got some dumb fucking attachments you put on your mech. You can harpoon shit. You can have a vacuum thing to suck up resources. It reminds me same energy as a slime rancher, and the mech looks like a tractor.
Listen.
Yes.
I will play this with you. Don't worry.
Okay.
This feels like when I asked Bobby to watch an anime and he came back with like, I watched Star Wars Visions. Like, technically you're
It's an
right,
anime.
but also, god damn it, that's not what I meant, and you know it.
And I'm right here too. This mech has interchangeable parts, the same that they do in Armored Core. Here we see treads instead of bipedal.
It is.
Yes, this is exactly like Armored
This
Core.
is
You're
my
absolutely
fucking
right.
Armored Core.
This
Okay?
is, you know, if I'm going to be forced to keep playing survival crafting games with you for the rest of my life, at least they're trying different things.
Yeah, this is the most I've ever been interested in one of these kind of games, and I still have zero interest
There's
in these
dozens
kinds
of us. You hear that? Dozens.
Oh, I think there's millions of you. I just think you're all fucking sickos.
Yeah.
This game is going to be really good.
Listen,
Well,
hey, I put a bunch more time into Power World than I ever thought
Yeah.
I would. So
Yep.
we'll see.
So anyway, that's
Anything
Game
can
Pass,
happen.
Xbox. I think it's on PlayStation. I don't think it's on Switch. I might be wrong though. Let me
Doesn't
double
matter. I'm
check.
not gonna play it anyway.
Yeah, not even this smut could bring Chase out.
No, can't do it.
Speaking of smut,
Speaking of smut, speaking of sickos, March 22nd, Dragon's Dogma 2.
This one's for
This
you,
game
Austin.
looks so
Happening.
cool. This game
It's coming
looks
out to
so
PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X. This trailer at the very least looks fucking sick.
Yeah, dude.
dude, I think this is going to potentially have not the reach. So bear with me when I say this, you two. I could see this having that kind of sleeper Baldur's Gate energy this year for a lot of people.
Totally. I totally believe that because one, it just looks awesome.
Yeah.
But two, I think you've had a ton of people, it's still a minority, but a ton of very vocal people going, Dragon's Dogma 1 kicked ass.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of people who just went, sure, whatever, weirdo. But then they put out remakes of the first Dragon's Dogma, like that's on Switch, that's on everything.
God, this looks so good.
And so I think you've had enough groundswell, I think, of people who are like, yeah, okay, I think this is kind of neat, and other people who tell amazing stories about playing in the first game that have gotten people intrigued. I'm intrigued, and I never cared about the first game, and I think you are getting. I could totally see this game blowing up and being huge.
Dude, you know what this is? It's the Dylan, you son of a bitch. But it's Elden Ring fans and fucking Baldur Gates fan coming together and slapping hands. And Monster Hunter, sure, it's a three-way.
I mean, more specifically, I see it. I see it as like a Demon Souls. Like when the original Demon Souls came out, a lot of people went, "No, what? I don't like this." And it took those vocal people going like, "No, this thing's really cool. You just have to give it a real chance, and you have to think about it in a different way." And when Dark Souls came out, like everybody got on board.
This here,
I mean,
though, is
not Bobby and me because we're people with taste, but a lot of sickos got on board.
What I will call out here that they showed recently that's fucking impressive is you can, because in the first game you really just pick a class and run with it like a traditional game like this. They've kind of showed a little bit of it in the trailer. You can switch classes on the fly. Like you can literally be going from an up in their face melee based build and back jump and go right into a magic or a mage or an archer build. That blows my mind to have that fluidity on how I play the game and not be locked into something. I think that's so fucking cool. This looks great.
If it's as easy to pull off the cool stuff that I'm seeing on this trailer, if it's easy enough for me to pull that off, I might have to give this a shot.
Yeah, man. I think
Like,
this is weird enough for you that you would dig it.
I know I have talked all over, and I even talked about it earlier on this podcast. I have this open world fatigue. It's just not the way I like playing video games because there's so much kind of downtime as you play. And this game is absolutely an open world game. But also, it looks and plays like this.
Always happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see on that one. But it does. This trailer, at the very least, is incredibly impressive.
So hyped.
So go check that out if you haven't. Next on the 22nd is Princess Peach Showtime for the Nintendo Switch. Where are you guys at with this game?
Don't give a shit at all.
That's too bad because I think they have some interesting ideas in here. I even wrote in the notes. It reminds me a little bit of Luigi's Mansion 3, where it seems like each world is very specifically designed. Yeah. It's got a lot of charm to it, and Not that these are exactly analogous, other than that they both star Princess Peach, but that Super Princess Peach on the DS was a really fun platform. Like it was cool. Like
my I have two. I call them my nieces. They're really my cousin's daughters, but my two little nieces love Princess Peach, and so I have a feeling that their dad is going to be buying this for them to play on their Switch.
I think it seems totally cool. You're right, Bobby. It's probably not quite for me. It's not a thing I'm super interested in, but I think they made a solid little game.
I'm happy for folks who are going to like it. I'm sure it's very well done. Yeah. I just don't have a strong desire to check this one out.
I do enjoy like the Kirby-ness of it. Here's Princess Peach, but she has a bunch of different abilities and different suits and things that she gets, and I don't know. I think it seems kind of cool. I could totally see this being a sleeper hit, and maybe something that comes out and we all have to go, oh, I guess we do need to pay attention to this. But even still, I just think it looks like a solid little game.
Totally.
Also on the 22nd, Rise of the Ronin is coming to PS5. This is a new one from Team Ninja. They're the makers of Neo and Ghost. Just Neo. Oh wait, what else are they? The Three Kingdoms one, or Wolong, the Fallen Dynasty. So it is going to be another one of those kind of Dark Souls adjacent games. Looks pretty good. I don't know.
It's co-op too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that if it played like a Ghost of Tsushima, I would be more into it, but I'm afraid it's going to play more like a Sekiro, and I don't.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. Like they have that pedigree of making those kinds of games.
Yeah. I just think it's going to be really, really like a Souls-like, and I just don't want to. I want it to be a little bit more approachable and action-based, personally.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that was my feeling on Wolong. It's like, oh, this is Three Kingdoms adjacent. I'm totally into that shit right now. And I wasn't gonna do it. I'm not gonna.
You would have had a bad time, Chaz.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, I would have. I would have.
You'd had a very bad time.
And I think the same thing here, where it's like I like Japanese culture-y history stuff, and I bet I would hate this, but it does look great. It does look great. There's blood on that sand. It looks pretty rad.
Pretty good.
Moving on to the 26th, South Park Snow Day comes to the Switch, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Windows. I just don't like South Park.
I loved it growing up, but I only played the first 64 game and never stuck with any of the other ones.
Well, that's probably your worst introduction to a South Park video game.
I liked it at the time. I had fun with it.
Yeah, same. Probably, maybe not one to revisit.
Yeah. I mean, those Obsidian games, the RPGs that they made, I heard were great. I believe it because Obsidian's great, but I couldn't do it then, and this is not made by Obsidian, so I double don't care now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it. Somebody out there loves it. That's not for me.
Yep, totally. Bobby, you mentioned Open Roads in the Game Pass stuff. Tell me more about Open Roads.
Yeah, Open Roads is going to have two. I think there's two pretty well-known actresses in this. I can't remember off the top of my head right now who they are.
It's Carrie Russell.
Yes, thank you.
It's Caitlin Dever.
Yes,
from Booksmart.
From The Last of Us. That's Abby.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yep. They're filming that now with her. I think she'll do great. But this, speaking of that, I think will be a really powerful story, coming of age in some terms, and like coming to grips with some pretty brutal stuff. It is narrative heavy. I don't know how much you're doing on the open road besides experiencing it and going through things, but yeah, it looks really stunning.
It does. This one's a little bit tough. There's a lot of like politicky stuff outside of the game. This is a Fulbright game. Fulbright from Gone Home and Tacoma fame. So that might give you an idea of how gamey versus story it's going to be. But Fulbright's gone through some changes as this game's been developed. Their lead creative director Steve Gaynor had some stuff where he was maybe not great to his employees, specifically to some women employees. Many of Fulbright's staff, I think like over half of them, left the studio at one point. He stepped down from his lead creative director role on this game and from his lead role on at Fulbright. This game, Annapurna, I kept with it, and it sounds like what happened was a separate team from Fulbright took this game, and it's no longer under Fulbright exactly. And they are just called the Open Roads team now, and they are being funded independently through Annapurna as they finish this game.
Okay, that's cool.
So I wouldn't.
Well, it does say a Fulbright game. At
boycott. Yeah, like don't boycott this game because the people involved who were bad are no longer involved with it. But it has had a weird history, and it's been like on the shelf a few different times, and now it's finally coming out.
Yeah, I was gonna say this trailer's from 2020.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It does look cool. I like both those actresses a lot, and I am interested to see more about this. But it's had a rocky road to get here, and it's cool to see it finally coming through and coming out. And then lastly, on the 28th, Pepper Grinder comes to PC and Switch.
It plays so good. It feels so good.
Yeah. So for anybody who's not watching this awesome trailer here, this is a 2D platformer, but the idea here is that you have a drill, and you can drill through the walls and the ceilings and everything.
You use it as a key. You use it as a weapon attachment. Like it's very versatile. It's a Swiss Army drill.
Yeah, absolutely. Devolver Digital published, so you know it's got that kind of house style to it. Just looks fucking rad.
Game feels there too, y'all. Like this one plays as good as this is part of the Next Fest. I think the demo's on Switch too, if I'm not mistaken. But it plays beautifully. It like going from the sand, like as they're showing here when you're drilling through it, you can boost up, and the drift that you get from the boost to get to the next mountain of sand feels, the mechanics are just so good on that one. It's very fucking well done.
Yeah, it seems great. I mean, it is pixel art, but it feels different than pixel art in a way.
Yep.
Like we've talked in the past about being a little tired of pixel art, and this just doesn't. It hits a different kind of pixel art in my mind. I'm not even having that issue with it because it just looks so good.
Hell yeah!
Really, really excited for this one.
Yeah. We did it. We got through them.
We did it. So now all that's left to do is make some picks for the month. Bobby, why don't you start us out? What is looking like a game that you want to play?
I got a lot of them for this month. I'm going to be checking out Summer House.
He's gonna clown card, I guess, guys. Heads up.
Yep, I am. I'm going to clown, and I'll do it in less time than it takes you to do your outro. Summer House, Lightyear Frontier, Pepper Grinder, Dragon's Dogma 2, and Unicorn Overlord.
You're just naming things.
Nailed it. Johnny, go for it.
Pepper Grinder, Dragon's Dogma 2, Expeditions, a Mudrunner game, and Unicorn Overlord.
Yeah, I sold them both on it.
There you go.
And I've got Pepper Grinder and Unicorn Overlord. I think there are some other cool games as well, but those are the two I think I'll probably end up playing.
Very good picks.
Summer House looks really good though. I think Summer House.
We'll quick look at it for sure. The demo's out. If you want to check it out on your PC, it's really good. All right, y'all. I don't have, or do I have? I do have it right. We did Balatro on Monday night here for our show, which was a ton of fun. Chase and I had the highest high and the lowest of lows on that run. You should definitely check out that video on demand because it was a emotional time playing Balatro. Chase, we put a quick look up. It actually went up today of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, one of the better Metroidvanias we've played in some time. Tonight was episode 364, even though that's wrong there. We will have a quick look going up tomorrow for Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, and Friday night we will go back to Fight for Democracy for your safety and ours. That is our week. Chase, what is happening with those tasty brats?
There's a new episode of Stadium Brats that is out today. You can go listen. Well, not listen. You should watch. You should watch it. It's the thing where you watch it. I finish off the gym leaders So I faced Giovanni, and that was a good time. I did that solo. Hoping to get both of these guys in here for the Elite Four, and we'll see about that. But that'll come out next week in some form or fashion.
Nice.
And then also I've got another podcast I do called Pilot Program that we do with our good friend Pierce Shane. That's about watching television shows. For this next one that is recording this weekend, we watched The A-Team, the 1980s action show, and definitely got some thoughts on that one as well. And I guess I'll announce it now. It's not that big of a secret, but our next one after this is going to be Shogun, the new FX show.
I'm excited to start that.
Based on the book. I'm also excited to start that. We'll see about it. But lots of cool stuff with Pilot Program. You can go check out more at shows.acast.com/pilot program for that.
Hell yeah. And Johnny, you've been writing. Anything fun to report on your end?
I did an interview with one of my favorite authors, Robert Jackson Bennett. That should be up on the site tomorrow or sometime this week.
Awesome.
And I have some exciting stuff in the works.
You did an interview with a game developer.
I did.
I think I mentioned that on our video game show.
Yes, I talked about that last week, I think. Anyway, I also interviewed our friend of the show, Carol Mertz, senior designer at Exploding Kittens. She and I and Bobby all worked together at Apple a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
And she went to NYU, did their game program, and we had a really interesting and enlightening conversation.
That's awesome.
Former Gamers on the Go guest, which is
right.
her real claim to fame.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks, Chase, for putting this together. That's been a lot of fun video game talk. We will be back live with Democracy, 9 p.m. Central on Twitch.